If you're watching this on Monday, April 22nd, happy Earth Day. Since it's Earth Day, I'm sure you're being bombarded with messages to donate, sign petitions, recycle, ride your bike, and most of all, buy a bunch of stuff that claims to be eco-friendly. This can all be a bit overwhelming, which is why I decided to make this video. So if you want to help the planet this Earth Day, here are 5 things you can do. First, please don't buy anything. It's impossible to get through an Earth Day without seeing tons and tons of ads for eco-friendly and sustainable products. Just remember, not buying anything is far more eco-friendly than buying even the most sustainable product, since no new stuff has to be made. Also, the vast majority of products you see that claim to be clean and green are just marketing. Companies call things eco-friendly so you will buy them, not because they're actually eco-friendly. Again, if you don't need anything, don't buy anything. And if you really need to spend some money this Earth Day, find a cool environmental or climate action group to donate to. Speaking of money, one of the best things you can do this Earth Day is to make sure your money isn't being used to prop up the fossil fuel industry. When you give your money to banks, they invest it in a bunch of stuff to try to make a profit. A lot of the stuff they invested in is really bad. In 2022, American banks accounted for 28% of all fossil fuel financing. The 4 worst banks in the US for this financing are JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Citibank, and Bank of America. In fact, JP Morgan Chase usually tops the list by sending more money to fossil fuel projects than any other bank globally. From 2016 to 2022, they financed a staggering $434 billion for fossil fuel projects. In 2022, the Royal Bank of Canada actually surpassed JP Morgan Chase and dumped $42.1 billion into fossil fuel products. Again, that's just in 1 year. In the 7 years since the Paris Climate Accords, the world's 60 largest private banks financed fossil fuels to the tune of $5.5 trillion. This is absolutely horrible. The good news is, there are a lot of banks that don't do this. I personally use Amalgamated Bank, but there are a ton of socially responsible banks that don't invest in the downfall of humanity. So I highly recommend looking into moving your money. After all, if you move your money away from bad banks, they'll have less money to give to fossil fuel companies. All of this eco-friendly action is great, but we are just getting to the good stuff. The very best thing you can do to help the planet this Earth Day is to join a local group working to make change in your community. Individual consumption choices like eating less meat and biking instead of driving are incredibly important, and if you have the ability to do these and limit your personal impact, please do so. Unfortunately, these actions alone, while necessary, are not enough. Many of our current environmental issues are on the structural level, meaning we need to enact legislation that holds polluters accountable, protects nature from unnecessary extraction and development, and speeds up the transition to renewable energy. There are tons of environmental groups working to change these systems for the better on the local, state, and federal levels, so I highly recommend looking into joining a group near you. These groups understand that everyone has different levels of time they can commit to the climate movement, so you don't have to worry about overcommitting yourself. But every bit of time you can give counts. The climate crisis is here, and we need to do everything we can to change the systems that are perpetuating it. It's also worth pointing out that while volunteering for one of these organizations may seem like a ton of overwhelming, draining work, this isn't entirely true. Don't get me wrong, it's hard work, but it's completely different from other work. Working with others to make your community better is one of the most fulfilling ways you can spend your time, and it's worth every second. There are few better feelings than watching something you worked hard to accomplish succeed and have positive impacts on the lives of those around you. So while it's hard work, it's enjoyable and absolutely worth it. If you're interested in getting involved, now is an amazing time of year to start. Most environmental groups have some sort of Earth Day event, so see if there's one near you and go check it out. If you want to do some research on groups near you, but you don't know where to start, I'd check out your local branches of 350.org, the Sunrise Movement, and Third Act. Even if you don't end up volunteering, it's great to know what's being done in your community. The 4th thing you can do to have a positive impact this Earth Day is to keep learning. There are so many things to learn about related to the environment and the climate crisis that it can seem a little bit discouraging. But I encourage you to read an article, start a book, watch a documentary, or something else to keep learning more. The more you learn, the more you will realize how big this problem really is, and the more you'll understand which solutions we need and how to implement them. So, watch that short film you've been meaning to watch. Research that topic you've been thinking about but don't fully understand. There's always more to learn, so why not learn a little today? Finally, you should spend some time outside this Earth Day. If you're going to celebrate the Earth, you might as well go out and enjoy it. Spending time outdoors and connecting with non-human life is incredibly fulfilling and can give you a new perspective on our world. You don't need to go deep into the wilderness to connect with nature either. You can sit under a tree in a local park or go on a walk in your city and make an effort to notice everything you see that's living. No matter what you end up doing today, if you spend some time outside for the sake of being outside, it can have a wonderful impact. So, this Earth Day, instead of falling into the trap of consumerism, and instead of worrying about whether you as an individual actually have an impact on an issue as large as the climate crisis, you should spend some time outside, learn something new, and find people near you fighting for a better future for everyone. The future is bright if we work together to make the world a better place, so let's do that. Remember, this is what Earth Day is about. Let's celebrate it and protect it.